Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to another Costa Women Hangout with me, Fiona Catchpole. My special guest today, Elle Draper. Good afternoon, Elle.
Hi, Fiona.
How are you today?
I'm very well, thank you. Melting a little bit, but I'm never complaining about the heat, so
Yeah,
it's
it
good.
is a little bit on the warm side. I suffered yesterday in Marbella. I went to RTV in Marbella. I was on the radio yesterday, and I discovered that a pair of lovely shoes that I bought are not for walking in hot weather. So either that or you've got to park closer to the location. So we have spoken previously. We cannot lie. This is our take two. And we're going to talk to you today about Costa Women and how you're a part of that. And then
Okay.
also one of your, well, I think it's a fabulous website. It's called Spain Buddy. So tell us a little bit about Spain Buddy.
Well, Spain Buddy's it's just coming up for about 2 years old now. Quite a busy website. Seems to be popular, so hopefully we're putting the right content onto the website for people. It's really about the positive side of Spain. We're steering clear of news and any kind of, I don't know, any kind of articles that might be a bit cantankerous, although we do let Alan have a little bit of a play on there sometimes, and he will get a bit cantankerous on there. But it's more about, you know, food, drink, things to do, fluffy stuff, really.
I'll show people. We'll have a look at them if we can. I'm just going to make sure that the transmission before we start trying to do anything incredibly adverse. So when did you first come in and how did you get involved with Costa Women?
I first heard of Costa Women shortly after we moved to the mainland from Lanzarote, which is, again, coming up a couple of years ago. And I bumped into Ali Meehan online, and she introduced me to the concept. And I just thought it was great. We ladies love to chat, we love to gossip. So to get all of us together in one place, all kind of helping each other in business or a bit of mentoring or just to chat, I just thought was fantastic.
Yeah, it's actually girls do all the chatting and the things like that very much better than the boys, but we do it differently, and it is nice to be able to be ourselves and what have you. So Spain Buddy, how long ago did you actually start Spain Buddy?
That was September 2012.
2012. And what have been the biggest challenges for you with that website so far?
Oh God, you've got me there. Completely honest with you, I think my biggest challenge is there just aren't enough hours in the day. I'd love to be on it 24 hours a day, updating it, tweaking it, changing it, filling it full of articles, but unfortunately we have to eat and sleep, so, you know, I can't be on there all the time.
And then likewise about living in Spain though, and also having a business here in Spain, what are the biggest challenges on those side of things?
Again, it's all about time for me. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so almost from the moment I get up, I grab a cup of tea, sit in front of my computer, and that's me then until night time. I'm quite happy online. I love to write, I love to research, so that's really helped us in business. I mean, Spain Buddy is just one side of our business. We build websites as well, but that one, I guess, is our core one that we own, that's not built for anybody else.
And you're also a bit of a social media guru as well, aren't you? Tell everybody what side of social media you're predominantly involved in and what benefit you feel that gives you.
I have to say I'm a huge Facebook fan. I love Facebook. When it started, it was quite honestly a way to keep in touch with people that we'd left behind in the UK, but as time's gone on, it's such a useful business tool, and pretty much most businesses should have a Facebook page because A, it's free, and B, it's where most people are. So if you want to be getting hold of most people, you need to have a presence on there for your business, really.
Absolutely, and we're doing some training down here at the moment on the Costa del Sol that I'm helping with giving people some basic key skills and simple techniques that maybe aren't as easy, but we're trying to make it sort of, you know, I like to try and make it the way in which everybody's going to be able to understand it. So we'll be up there with you very, very soon on the Facebook. Next step will be Google Plus. Now you have quite a presence on Google Plus as well, don't you?
Yeah, again, I like to play. Google Plus is a different animal for me. It's not the chatty social thing that I find Facebook to be, but if you want to rank in search engines and if you want your site to be taken seriously, you've got to play the game with the evil Google, and Google Plus is part of that, really. But I find I chat to a different type of person on Google, really. I find that my interaction's a bit more, I don't know, a bit more in depth, perhaps.
Yeah, I think it's slightly less personal, but I think that's what makes the reach or the challenge with Google Plus different. I was trying to do some research yesterday on my iPad and her iPad and see the differences we got in search results from Google Plus. But either way, anybody on Google Plus came up with a specific ranking as well on Google, you know, is on Google, which I think added, for me, a hint of credibility, a reference from Google to saying, you know, this perfect field, as it were.
Absolutely, it's yeah, the reference, the trust, you know, it's basically cementing your presence online, and people prefer to deal with people.
Absolutely, and to me these days social media is all about real people talking about real things. Gone has the hiding behind a presence, and I think it's a lot more transparent.
I absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. I've always kind of been a bit more of a in-your-face, personal kind of person anyway. Any job that I've ever had, right from the age of 16 when I left school, I've always been about making it more about the person. My years in sales, in pub management, people do business with people, and I just think if somebody knows who they're talking to, half the job's done.
Yeah, actually, I mean, I was researching a bit more last week or week before as well, on, you know, just making sure I'm following the, you know, getting in the right end, as it were, because my view is the same as that. You know, it's all about your own personal view. But I think it was Amy Porter that I was, or Porterfield that I was looking at, and it is the personal aspect of it. It's telling your story, and also something like behind the scenes and finding what it is that people find interesting about you as well. So I had an interesting encounter yesterday when I've been trying to encourage the ladies to talk more about themselves. One of the girls has a hair and beauty salon, so she doesn't always talk so much about the hair and beauty side, but she likes to go out and party. When she goes out to party, she looks at me, which is a good sort of reflection on what she does. And then another friend, she likes to help with animal rescue. So I said, well, you know, talk a little bit about that. And I suddenly realised that I wasn't doing anything particularly different. You know, with social media, it can be a little bit on the yawn side. And I happened to be, like I say, at the radio yesterday, and the runner-up of the Spanish Voice was there, Emmanuel Lehmann. And I took a selfie with him and put it on my Facebook business page, Fiona Catchpole, and there was all sorts of furore, everybody thinking that it was my new chap, which I thought, oh, that's quite nice. So I have decided, it's going to be a difficult job, but I think I'm going to make that my quirk, I'll find it my mission to go out and take selfies with as many attractive men as I possibly can and post it on my page.
I think you need an assistant, and I'd like to volunteer for that job.
Okay, well, I will be asking for CVs to be submitted in due course, but I'll put you at the top of it. Tell me a little bit more about you moving to Spain and how all that happened, because you've not just been here in mainland Spain, have you?
No, that's right. We first left the UK in 2006. We came out from Portsmouth and we went to Lanzarote. Alan, my other half, he wasn't that worried where we went. He'd already lived abroad before, so for him it was just a new adventure. But for me it was the first time, so I was quite nervous. But I only had two criteria. I wanted good weather and I wanted somebody that spoke English that I could sell to. And Lanzarote ticked all those boxes. It still ticks all those boxes, but after 6 years, we were ready for a bit of a different adventure. Islands can get a little small after a while. When you've got three dogs, you can't just nip off and have a weekend somewhere, or just, drop everything and go and do what you want. Whereas now we're on the mainland, actually we can do that. The dogs get thrown in the car and we can go wherever we want. We don't, but we could.
Yes. And if you're chatting with somebody who's thinking about moving over here, what are your three key for before they can start taking that plunge? What would you recommend?
The line's getting a bit bitty again, but I think I got your question there. Three things.
I can still hear you. Yeah.
The first one, leave the rose-tinted specs at home. This is not holiday. It might be lovely when you're sat on your sunbed or you're perched at your favourite bar, but when you live here, it's very different. Most of us have to make a living, so you've got to be disciplined. Second point, do not trust people automatically. There are people here who they'll have the money out your bank account as fast as look at you. So treat people here the same as you would in your local pub back in the UK. You wouldn't tell them your deepest, darkest secrets. So why do that here as well? And thirdly, make sure that anybody who's involved in the move is 100% on board with the idea. As much as your own enthusiasm might be fantastic, if your partner or your children aren't enthusiastic, that can make life difficult. I was lucky. Alan and I were absolutely up for this. So.
What about the language? How did you have any Spanish before you arrived, or how quickly were you able to master the language?
Oh God, bloody useless. I did I did 2 years of Spanish at school. Didn't remember a word of it. Maybe the word for sister, but please and thank you, that was it. I did start learning a little bit of Spanish before we moved to Lanzarote, but to be honest, I should have had some proper lessons. I think that would have given me a better basis. Because what I did in Lanzarote is kind of picked up tourist Spanish, and that's not real Spanish. So when we've moved to the mainland, and in particular trying to master the Andaluz accent, which is not easy, I found it a little difficult at first. I'm picking it up now. I can converse generally. I'm okay, if I'm out and about, I can talk business or what have you, but I'm a long way from where I'd like to be. Whereas I think if I'd had those lessons beforehand and could converse generally before I arrived, it would have been a much easier process for me.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying. So from here on in, what does the immediate future hold for your website side of things and social media, Spain Buddy, and your family in whole? What are your aims and ambitions this year, for example?
Really, Spain Buddy is our major focus this year. It's been not a hobby, it's always been more than a hobby, but it's only been maybe 20% of our business up to now, whereas we're twisting the business round now and making it probably 70% of our business. We love doing it, we can make money with it, so why not put more time into it? And we're able to do that now, so Spain Buddy is our real focus. As far as family, Alan and I, we're tight anyway. We're a fantastic team. We worked together for some time before we even became a couple, so we know each other and we work together really well. That'll continue, strength to strength. And as for family that's here with us in Spain, well, that's 3 dogs, and as long as they're fed and walked, they're quite happy.
Oh, that's great. So now I do have a couple of quirky questions that I think I asked mentioned before because Ali sent them to me, but I think they're so funny. I think we'll go for it, and then we'll round up the chat from there, and people can continue to giggle.
Okay.
Was, and I can't remember if I'd asked you this one before. What is the band you wish you had been a member of, and why?
See, I love the 80s. So any of the 80s band, we're talking Wham, Duran Duran, Aha, that kind of era. I just want to wander around in electric blue eyeliner with big hair and lacy gloves and have fun. But likewise, wouldn't it have been awesome to be part of something like Pink Floyd as well? You know, I mean, those guys knew how to party. I think I've lost you.
Do you get a chance to party much at the moment?
No, we live right out in the middle of nowhere. So
it's okay, I've still got you. I can still...
Oh, okay. We live right out in the middle of nowhere, so our parties tend to be a little understated now. But we have people that come round, and we always say to them, look, if you're going to come over for some food and some drink, stay overnight, and then you don't have to worry about driving home, you know. So, yeah, we have friends round and stuff.
Yeah.
But it's not Pink Floyd.
Oh dear, no. Okay, it's not that. About the heroine that you would most like to be or have been.
Oh God, that's a tough one. Do you know what? I'm going to really upset some people now because
Wonder Woman.
Oh, yeah, been there, done that. I've had those parties. The person that I would want to be is, but it's not because of her principles or her beliefs, would probably be Margaret Thatcher. Because although I disagreed with many of her policies, that woman had balls, and she didn't give two hoots what anybody thought. If she made a decision, she stuck to it. Whether it was right or wrong is besides the point, but I'd like to think that I could be as feisty as her.
Well, from where I'm sitting, I don't think you're far off. I think you must have a lot of strength of character. Excuse me, moving around there, to be achieving all the things that you're achieving. So I think you should give yourself a pat on the back. So, what does the weekend hold for you now?
Well, actually, Alan's been called away to a meeting this weekend, so he's in France as we speak. But I'm home alone. So with him not around, I tend to get a little bit bored. So I have the joy of scrubbing the kitchen hob, the cooker hob, washing the kitchen floor, and looking after the dogs.
Oh, the really glamorous side of life then is what
absolutely.
Okay, well, I won't detain you any longer from your chores. Thank you ever so much for spending some time with me this afternoon, and we'll put all the details about the website underneath. I didn't share it on the screen because I was a bit worried about our connection, but I can highly recommend it as a really cool resource, and we look forward to following you a little bit more on social media.
Perfect. Thank you, Fiona.
All right, bye-bye for now.
Okay, bye.